Okay, these expressions came up in our discussion class today for February 13th, 2018. Now, may I go to the bathroom and can I go to the bathroom? May I go is permission, and it's correct. Can I go has two meanings, and one is the possibility. It also means permission, but a lot of times middle school teachers will say that, the kid says, can I go to the bathroom? And the teacher says, I don't know, can you? Heads up is a warning. That's good for normal spoken English. Hey, heads up. That guy's angry with you today. I also had Heads Up 7-Up. This was from Heads Up 7-Up. This was from Osejin, and it's a game that kids play usually in kindergarten in the United States. And there's two students at the front of the room, or three, and then the teacher says, everybody put your head down, close your eyes, and stick your thumb up like this. And then the kids go and they grab someone's thumb, or they touch their thumb, and that person puts their thumb down. And then the kids have to, the teacher says, open your eyes, and the kids say, they have to guess who touched their thumb. So, also, we had this one today, concur. Concur means agree. Do you concur? Yes, I concur. I agree. Now, concur is only used usually by doctors, or if you want to be really formal. We also had a clip or a short movie from Catch Me If You Can. Right? Glory explained your best bet, and we talked about, like, if you have a 5-hour layover in Incheon Airport, do you have time to go into the city? And so if you, I heard this on a flight, and the guy asked the flight attendant, and she didn't quite catch it, but I thought, well, your best bet, get on the train, go to Hongdae, take some pictures, go back to Incheon, or just stay at Incheon. Have a hangover. Be hungover. Now, these are the same. Again, my Spanish students were always confused by this. Direct, direct, pretty much the same thing. Later I'll say something about John Williams directs the orchestra to play direct. And he's the director. Actually, I don't really think that makes that big of a difference. I have an example a little bit later. You get stitches or stitched up. If you cut yourself, deep enough, you need stitches. We heard in the recording, stitch him up. That'd be quicker, faster. Kojajil could be a tattletale, or if you don't like him, he's a snitch. This is kind of a fun kid's word. This is kind of like a gangster word. Speak up. If you see a problem, speak up, okay? Pipe up is very informal, or just say something. Speak up is also speak louder, but it's kind of rude. So you could say, could you please speak up, or speak a little louder, so those in the back can hear you? I'm sorry, I can't quite hear you, right? Could you speak a little louder? Again, Choi Hong-gyun told a story, and this is his second time, and he said, yeah, I felt like I was experiencing vertigo, or I was experiencing vertigo. I started getting a case of vertigo, would be very, very informal. Glory today explained leapfrog, where you jump from, one airport to another, maybe some, you don't take a direct flight home, but you go through 3 or 4 airports, and I say, hey, how did you get home? Well, I kind of leapfrogged through from Paris to London, London to New York, and then New York back to Chicago. A lot of pilots at the regional carriers back home in the United States, they are kind of leapfrogging from one airport to another. Also, you could maybe hear this, like that Helios, the cabin crew, the flight attendant guy. Some people think that he was using one oxygen mask to breathe, and then using another oxygen mask in front of that to breathe, and he kind of leapfrogged his way to the front. All right. Apartment, you can also say a bachelor pad. All right, I had this one, and I also had a man cave. Okay, this is my brother, my sister's husband has this in the garage. He had like a sofa and beer and a pool table and Xbox and stuff. Bachelor pad is a single guy's apartment, usually pretty nice. We also had crash pad, which that's where like a lot of pilots sleep in the United States because they're trying to build their hours. There's been a lot of news segments on that. John Williams, the guy who has the Star Wars music, likes to direct the orchestra to play funny songs. Direct. He likes to direct, you could say that, but it would sound very regional or kind of like an accent or something. Good ear is a person who can hear things and understand. For example, we go to a restaurant and there's music playing and you say, hey, I know that. That's Mozart's Concerto, 241 or so, whatever. I say, oh, you know that? Good ear. Good eye, you often hear this in baseball. They throw a pitch and it's a ball, and the umpire says ball. So people say to the batter, hey, good eye, you saw it, I didn't. Like on the horizon, you see something but I can't see it. I say, oh, good eye. Pipe dream, Mr. Choi Jong Chun explained this today. Something that's never gonna happen. Alright, that's pipe dream. I kind of have a dream that the Korean pilots will go over and talk to the foreign pilots a little bit more, or vice versa. Oxymoron, you could say vicious cycle or circle. I prefer cycle. It's just a vicious cycle. How do you break a vicious cycle? How do you get out of a vicious cycle? Opposite, virtuous cycle, but I don't like that. I like positive feedback loop. Gumuan would be a civil servant, formal, or if you don't like them, government workers. The feds, the federal government in the U.S. A lot of people, for dongi, for your group, use the verb, I would say. We started out in the company at the same time. Who's that guy? We hired in at the same time. Class of '98, class of 2013. That's usually for universities. Okay.